a subscriber who has been going through a tough time. The husband changed jobs, didn't work out. So now in a new place, a new dwelling, and the husband, no work. The question came to the channel, what's going on? And this individual is a Leo ascendant, whether you're a birthday Leo or a moon sign Leo or a Leo ascendant. And if you don't know what those things are, and if you're curious, it doesn't cost you anything to find out. You just comment to me and I can get all that information to you, because the passion of this channel is to put the knowledge in your hands. So let's take a walk through this person's life and let's see if we can read what their energetic weather was, is, and shall be. Some interesting things that I have checked out in advance. I always, first of all, look for the eclipses in a person's chart. Those are super important because when eclipses occur, shit happens. Because the eclipses are based on the north and the south node in a person's chart. So here's their birth chart. There's a lot of stuff on it, so just follow my cursor, because I'm only going to, hopefully I'll stay on track and I'll point out just the main things. This is right here, north node. Now this is going to be different for everybody, right? So this person's birth date is September 28th, 1966. And they're born in Warren, Ohio. So, if you're listening, whether you're a new person here at the channel or you're someone who's been here before, if there's something similar about your own birth stuff, this could apply to you because the nodes move very slowly. So this person has a north node in Taurus, and that would put their south node in Scorpio, because that's the way the nodes work. They automatically work, and they have a buddy system. There's always going to be one at one end and the other at the other end. This is pretty common in astrology. This is why holistic astrology is extremely important. We always want to make sure that we're paying attention to everything. Okay, even though I'm asking you to just follow my cursor. So North Node in Taurus is all about values. All right, because it's Taurus. Taurus is, what are my values? Who are my values? Like, is this about my love interest, my deepest desires? Is it about material and the tangible, my income, my money? It's yes, and all of the above and more, right? Taurus is an earthy energy. So it's valuing the earth, material values, right? Tangible, material stuff you can hold in your hand. It is going to be the good, beautiful, nice, sweet, just blissful side of life. Not blissful as in Pisces energy, but blissful as in Venus energy, because Venus rules Taurus. So it's like, I want good food, a good home. I want quality, right? I want peace. This is a peace-loving sign. Now, being this person's north node, this means this is something they're striving for in this lifetime. They're working towards. I have to point out that Taurus is a fixed energy because it's fixed. And a north node typically represents something that is difficult to accomplish, because your south node, the opposite of the north node, is your superpower. It's something you have already mastered, right? It's your past coming through. It's your soul's knowledge. It's like, yeah, I know how to do this. It's a piece of cake. You came in, you were born, you knew how to do it. You didn't have training for it in this lifetime. You just came out knowing. It's your innate knowledge. That's your south node. So the opposite of that, north node, is something that's a little bit more trickier, because you just don't have that skill already. It's something you're really working on. So when it's in Taurus, because Taurus is fixed and it's about values, it's like, this is what I love. This is what I value. Or this is who I love. This is who I value. Taurus is stubborn. It's fixed. It doesn't want to budge. It doesn't want to change its ways. So it stays fixated on what it values. Okay. It stays, it can be, just, it doesn't want to budge. It's stubborn. It says, no, but this is what and who I value. So for this person, it's in their 10th house, which is career and job. So if your north node is in Taurus, it's asking you to work on being open and flexible as to what your career can be. It's saying, don't fear the change. Change is here. Don't fear it. This is a change you're supposed to ride with. It's like being in the ocean, but you got a surfboard and it's like, here comes some waves. What's the thing to do? Try to get up on that board and ride them waves in, right? That's the whole thing. But you got to be able to be flexible. You got to be able to move with the grooves and the waves, right? You got to be able to pivot. You got to be like, I can trust this process. I'm not going to drown. I got the board here. I might fall a few times, but in the end, it'll be worth it. It's Taurus. So for Taurus, it's always going to upgrade. It's always going to look for quality. It's always going to take us somewhere better than we are. But the process of getting there might not feel real comfortable. Matter of fact, it's going to feel horrible because Taurus doesn't like change. Okay. For this individual right now in their life, the nodes up in the sky, I'm going to click the now button and that adds this extra chart. And so it makes it look really, really complicated. But look, his is at 1652, which is 17 degrees, right? The transiting node up in the sky right now is at 2158. So that's technically like 22 degrees. Okay. So the nodes, when they travel, right, they decline in numbers. Okay. They go backwards. Right. I know, very strange, but that's how they roll. So what that means is this number is going to decrease and it's going to get to the 1652, which is it's a change in your job. According to the astrology that I looked up in the past, it looked as though it happened in the month of May, and there were some rumblings prior to May, but May looked like when it would have been probably, and if it wasn't May, it was definitely the beginning of June, because it just showed signs of extreme change and shocking and surprises in it being at the job and from authority figures. That's what it shows. Okay. Now, in this chart, when this node gets to here, literally within a 2 degree, meaning when it gets to, we're saying this is at 18. So when this gets to 20, it's going to be like, yeah, another change, again, a change in values, which would tell me that this person might be reconsidering some things for work, or they may be saying, hey, maybe I should use this time as like a downtime to reevaluate what I value in my life before I start going after another job that's in the same career category, because this is what the node is asking this person to do. It's saying, hey, I want you to consider something different. Now, we also, if you see this planet here, this is Uranus, it's going to actually in July, this node and this Uranus, they're going to get close together. And you also do see that this Uranus in degrees, 1712, and this is 1652, holy smokes. That means that this Uranus was already on this person's node, right? And that's what happened about a month ago, which is why I made reference to the May energy. So that was the past. The upcoming eclipse, November 8th, 2022, is in the sign of Taurus at 16 degrees. All right. Yes, your hubby has an eclipse on his north node, and it happens in November. But the teaching is when you have an eclipse on a planet or a point in your chart, and if it matches the degree, you can feel it up to 6 months in advance. So if I were to go back in time, right, a month ago, we saw that Uranus was already on that node. It was already there. And then along with the fact that he has an eclipse on that degree, 16 degrees, 6 months out from November is May. It's asking him to reevaluate his values in his life. He might be looking towards making a career change altogether based on his new set of values. Okay. Now, the good news is that there is some beautiful things coming. We have his ascendant at 4 degrees, 459 in Leo. I love that for him and for anybody else who's gotten a Leo ascendant at 459, because we have a new moon coming up end of July. If you haven't watched your video, go watch it. It's at 5 degrees of Leo. When we have a new moon, which means a new beginning, on my ascendant, your ascendant is your body. It means your appearance changes. When we say our appearance, it can be anything from your hairstyle to your clothing to your physical body, which means like it could be weight gains, it could be weight losses. You just somehow look different. Your ascendant is the cover of the book, and the book is you, right? That's what the ascendant is. Okay. There's also some interesting things happening on his Neptune. Yeah, on his Neptune. And just keep this in mind. Neptune represents, it can make things kind of disappear. It can make things look fuzzy. It makes things look, like we're in murky waters and we can't see what the hell's going on, right? So there's going to be some of that happening And that effect is going to be with him for about a year. But there will be opportunities that are coming along. Because of that North Node eclipse, he's having a North Node return. And so that means when this node in November gets here, but remember, I said it's going to be within a 2-degree orb. So he's actually going to start to feel this in August, maybe even sooner, actually, because Uranus is also there and it'll be getting higher in numbers, which means as it gets higher in numbers, it'll be getting closer to the node. So in July, this is like already at 18, and then this will be at 20. So what happens is they become together, they become their band of energy, it expands and it becomes stronger. So it will technically enable this node to touch on his North Node at that time. And it'll be something that will be kind of a surprise, something out of the ordinary, something unconventional for him, because that's Uranus. It's asking him to consider something that he hasn't done before. And it doesn't mean that it can't incorporate his previous skill set, because that's kind of, this last decade, honestly, maybe even more than that, have been folks who've been graduating from college and who've had to be able to pivot and use their skills, their degrees in a job that they had no intentions to use. And so this is asking him to do that. But because it's with Uranus, Uranus is energy, it's technology, it's cutting edge, it's something that's futuristic, it's science, it is astrology. So keep all that in mind as well. A beautiful beginning for him. And I also want to make a couple of other mentions for the year of 2021 going to the past. His sun literally went into his 12th house, looking at other charts. I'm not going to pull those other charts up. But what it tells me is that when your sun for one full year sits in the 12th house, it means you become invisible, because the 12th house can make things look invisible or unseen or blurry, right? That's what the 12th house energy is. It's behind closed doors or it's backstage. His sun for the year of 2021, and this is birthday years, by the way, okay? So from the birthday of 2021 to the birthday of 2022, he's invisible. I know, right? Now what happens in September, because that's his birthday in 2022, this is good. His sun pops up and becomes aware in the 8th house. Now I love this for your hubby, because the 8th house is all about other people's values and money, other people's moolah. So I have mentioned this many times because I found it to be true in my entire life, in my chart, that when anybody has energy in the 8th house, this is other people's values. And so my entire career, professional career, which was not astrology, right? This is my second career. It was in other people's money, managing other people's businesses and money. Well, his sun from his birthday in 2022 all the way to his birthday of 2023 will be present in the 8th house for him. And so that's good. His 8th house is Pisces money. So Pisces tends to be like big institutions. It's Pisces, right? So that could be anything from, typically we would say theater, right? Movies and Hollywood, but it can be hospitals, any giant institution. When I had a lot of strong Piscean stuff, I worked for a grocery store, in a bakery. So it could be anything, he's got to kind of think outside the box a little bit, because it's also politics, right? Stage and screen, but it's very creative endeavors. Anything that's about creating something. Dreamy, dream-like. That's Piscean energy. And if he's in the 8th house, then there's some way, somehow, somebody who's got, whether it's a company or business or values in that area, because it's watery too, so it's very spiritual. Let's add that in there. So church, different forms of religion. It's just taking these generalities, these general definitions, and applying them to what it is that he does, whatever his skill set is. So now when 2023 comes, his sun dips into his 5th house. So the 5th house is about fun and children, joy, creativity, and romance. Okay. It's also taking a risk with my body. So his energy then becomes the sun in the house of Sagittarius, which really kind of expands upon his sun. His sun becomes even brighter at that time, because Sag is expansive. It's like that Jupiter energy. So this Jupiter energy kind of takes on like the judicial system, the courtroom system, the law, but judicial law, like creating laws. 5th house energy, it does speak to fun though, and creating again. Fun and creating. The previous year, hooking up with the 8th house energy in Pisces, that's a double emphasis of hooking up with individuals where he's connected on cellular levels, soul contracts. So there might be something very promising there for him that expands into the 5th house, which was more creating. Doesn't necessarily mean he's doing more creating with children, but it's maybe feeling like a child again, right? Discovering that ability to travel, because that is also that, right? Sagittarius in the 5th, traveling is fun, right? Absolutely. Exploring. There's a sense of freedom, a sense of just experiencing and learning while experiencing, right? It's connecting with other cultures, with other people who don't even speak your same language. It's got the strong foreigner energy because that's what traveling is. We get on the plane, we go to places we've never been. So that's all the way until 2024, birthday of 2024, all right? Now, when he gets to the birthday of 2024, his sun appears in his 3rd house, which is business, which is marketing, sales, which is networking, coworkers, neighbors. It's all about talking and communication, doing that thing, online, social media. And then just to let you know that energy that's coming with that North Node, that August and September, and that return in November of 2022, it brings about this new beginning. But keep in mind that there may be this grand new beginning because of this Neptune here. I know I didn't show this to you yet, but I want you to take a look at this. Let me pop off the outer chart. His Saturn is 25 degrees in Pisces. Now, Saturn means work. Okay, so this is, he is good at working along the lines of whether it's for churches or hospitals, institutions of some sort, right? Piscean energy, Hollywood, whatever, right? However he uses that Piscean energy, politics, serving a large group, a worker who gets his job done. What's happened is the current planets up in the sky, Neptune, is sitting on his Saturn. So there was multiple things here that occurred for him. You see that? 25, it's right on his Saturn. Now this Neptune pretty soon is actually going to begin a retrograde. And it's going to go back all the way to 22 degrees of Pisces. So for all of us who live in the States, when we get back to 22 degrees of Pisces, this will be like around the holidays, November, December. There's always a rise in sicknesses, but that is pandemic energy again, COVID energy coming back. It won't be long. It won't be a long thing, but just keep that in mind. What that means is it will eventually go forward again. And when Neptune goes forward again, it means Neptune's going to come back to his Saturn. So if Neptune can make things disappear, it means that whatever this setup was in November, or actually August to November of 2022, when this Neptune gets back to here, it's already in 2023. Yeah, it's 2023, January, February of 2023. Okay. See how Neptune's already back up here? It's going forward again, and it's at 24. It's forward because it's not in red. That's how we know it's going forward. And so if I move it ahead by a month, it already hits 27. Where'd you go, Neptune? Okay, I've already lost it. Yeah, there it is. So there's a lot of things in Pisces at that time. So there's Neptune at 2513, where it is almost exactly where it is right now. So what happens is Neptune can, make the work disappear, and then it eases off. So then it feels, we don't feel those restrictions. We feel like, okay, it seems like I found something possibly. There were some opportunities that came up. However, when January, February, March come around, Neptune is coming back to his Saturn again, which is his work. Okay. So it shows in another chart that I've been looking at. I wanted you to see this other chart. It's kind of a complex chart, but it is an amazingly accurate chart. And looking at it, it's like, gee, what the hell is that? Well, I'll send you it in the detail as a PDF or whatever so that you can print it out and look at it for yourself, because you're pretty good where you could see this. But it does show that by 2023, after 2023, like mid 2023, it looks like, as far as his ambitions and career, things are starting to change. They're moving upward. They're moving in a vertical momentum. This chart shows that there's a real big internal focus on feelings, home, and family in the year beginning in 2022, between 2022 and 2023. There's a blue line here. You probably can't see it. It's a vertical line heading downward, like in a downward dive. That's about feelings and emotions and family. And it's opposite of career. See how it was it nosedived there? So it in 2023, it starts to go vertical back up again. So that's good news. That's good news. Again, this is a super accurate chart. And I just wanted you to see that, you know what, you're just dealing with this stuff and that you guys will manage it. You will get through. Have faith because the universe has got your back.